Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. This is a weekly series that I do here on my YouTube channel where I share a little paper crafting tutorial with you to inspire you to break into your crafty stash and make something beautiful. This is the fourth Wednesday in the month of April 2025, so it's time for us to do our Wind Back Wednesday. This is when we use an older or retired paper collection, a tool, a technique, a design, and we make something fresh and new together. So today we are working with Ciao Flower Shop. This is a collection that came out last spring and I never got a chance to play with it. So I thought we'd pull it out for today's Wonderful Wednesday and have fun with it. It is a beautiful paper collection. I have the 8x8. It features all these sweet little floral shops, gardening images. I love the wellies, the watering cans, really whimsical designs, and beautiful soft spring pastels in this collection. So I fell for it pretty hard and bought a bunch of it. I loved all the little floral. Look at this sweet page of cut apart tags and such. Just beautiful. So I love the peach and the pink together, really pretty. You can see why I couldn't resist this collection. You can still get bits and bobs of it online. This is the A4 creative pad, and as usual, all the wonderful cut aparts. I love this little teacup full of flowers, of course, a great wood paneling, tags with this pretty pattern on the back, soft spring greens. Again, lots of tags, a peach leaf pattern, more beautiful cut aparts. The creative pad has patterned papers and cut apart papers, which I really like because it gives you a lot of versatility with what you can do. The little butterflies are all scattered through here, and then more of these gorgeous images. Again, these wellies that I like so much. More cut aparts. And then I also grabbed the fussy cut pad, which has some great fussy cuts. But the thing I really love about the fussy cut pad is that the back side is more patterns. So you can like take one sheet out of each fussy cut pad to fussy cut, or if you don't like to fussy cut, you get these bonus 6x6 papers, which is very nice. I have the 12x12. You can just see stunning, stunning, stunning papers. A lot of these are repeat designs from what were in the 8x8, but here's another beautiful cut apart page with these teacups, little garden gnome, gardening hat. I love that. Stripes and florals is just classic together. A lot more of these little flower shops. Really love this particular with the green and the peach. So pretty. Individual cut aparts, fussy cuts. These greenhouses and floral shops are really, really nice. And we might actually be into, there's a 12x12 patterns, and then there's a 12x12. And I think I've kind of grouped them together here. But you can see just stunning colors and designs. So that is what we're working with today. And I think we're going to play with my tag die again and make something fun. So stick around, I'll show you what we're doing. So what are we making? Well, you know I love tags, and I love to use tags to make all kinds of things. And this is very similar to the Easter trifold folio tag. It's got a few little changes, so that qualifies for our Wind Back Wednesday. This uses, the base is my Button Farm Club shaker tag die. I've created a little shaker window here with a Spellbinders embroidery hoop and this die cut leaf wreath, We've got some really pretty shaker elements from Buttons Galore and More, Renee Bouquet's Dragonflies, and then some flowers from my stash. This little clip comes off. This flips open, and there's a pop-up scene in the middle part with a little journal card pocket. I love this old pickup truck. And just some cute paper elements in here. But I'm going to show you how to do the little pop-up scene. It's really fun. And then it flips this way to reveal a pocket with a little journal card with room on the back to write a message, and a couple of sweet little tags from the paper collection. This is also a great place to tuck in a gift card. And then here we have a kinetic waterfall, you know, one of my favorite things to make. And I will show you how to make this in the tutorial. So I just have this little binder clip up here in the corner to keep everything neat and tidy together. It will stand up for display, which is really fun. And the back side is a tea party in a box. So I'm going to show you how to make this box pocket. I've loaded this one up with a vintage silver plate spoon, a Ghirardelli chocolate, a little wrapped tea bag. This has a little vanilla chai tea in it, a decorated honey stick, a Biscoff cookie pack, and then we make this little folio together. This is so cute, y'all. It's just a tiny little folio. I've dressed it up on the front with some sequins and a tag, and it has a package of flower seeds inside because, you know, flower shop, you got to have that. Some fussy cut elements from the A4 that go into these little pockets. And both of these are journal cards with room on the back to write a note or tuck in a flower. A little side pocket with a pretty scene from the papers. And you can also tuck gift cards in this. And then another little pocket and tag combination, and a little flip page with a pretty image from the paper collection. And there's the back cover. So if you would like to learn how to make this, stick around because the tutorial is coming up next. So the first thing I did was cut out 3 of my tags using my Button Farm Club shaker tag die. And I did one with this heavy kind of peachy pink and 2 with this soft green. And then what you want to do is create layers. And the way I do this is I die cut the tag the normal size, say for this green, and then I just cut 1/8 of an inch off each side and about 1/8 of an inch off the top. And as you can see, these will layer together really, really well. And one of these is going to go on the front of our tag, and one of these is going to go on the back of our tag, because as you know me by now, if there's a back, I'm going to cover it. So, and that way you don't have to mess with cutting along this scalloped bottom, and you get this really pretty layered scallop look. Then the next thing I did was I die cut a tag with my patterned paper. And this time, I'll show you. You see how you have this little partial scallop here and this little partial scallop here? I just cut straight up, and then came down 1/4 of an inch. And this way, this layers onto this tag just perfectly. And I did one of these like this, and I did one where I cut just enough to cover the top of the tag, because this is going to be a box pocket on the back. We've done things like this before. If you've been around for a while, it's probably familiar. And then from the remainder of this 12 by 12 piece of paper, I cut out this 7.5. I believe this is 5.5. Let me double check myself. Yes. And I scored a 1/2 inch flap on the right and then scored at 3.5. So this is going to wrap behind this tag like this. And we're going to have a little pull out element like this. It's going to be really fun. And you've got here too. I'm going to ink my edges, and I think I'm going to use bundled sage to ink the edges of my tags. And what I'm going to do is once I've inked these, I'm going to put a little bit of glue right in the center, and I'm going to stitch around the tags on either side. And I'll show you when I've done that, what we're going to do down here to create the pocket. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then come back and we'll move to the next step. All right, my friends, here's our tag all stitched and layered together. And when I stitched this, I just put the flap in between here and the green tag layer and then stitched around it. And I like the way that turned out. It looks really neat. And here's the back. We're going to go ahead and finish the front before we do the back. So open your flap to the right. And I went into the 6x6 pad and found this wonderful flower shop image. I fussy cut around it, leaving the bottom edge straight. Score a 1/2 inch, and then find the approximate middle and score it in half, and then just make a little snip right here. And this is going to be a pop-up element. So this folded part wants to line up with the fold in your little pull-out page. And I'm going to put a little score tape on here so that it will hold right away. And we're going to do this one side at a time. So here's our fold. I want this piece to come right up here. And see how it lines up with the fold? So I'm going to pull this flap back. I'm going to press this into place. Then I'm going to lift this up, see? And I'm going to take this piece, and I'm just going to angle that about 45 degrees. And now this will fold down flat, she says. Did I not quite hit the middle? I'm going to bring in my bone folder to crease this. And now when you open this, your little house pops up. And down here in the corner, I fussy cut another image of the house. Your adhesive in the peak along the bottom and along this side that's straight cut, and tuck this right up against the edge like this. And then from that same 6x6 fussy cut, you can take this little truck. I've got this little 1/2 inch by 2 inch scrap that I've folded in half and then folded in half again to make 4 equal 1/2 by 1/2 inch pieces. And then fold this in so it looks like a little gatefold. Put your adhesive on each flap. Open it so that it's sort of like a book, and the open end is up here. And we're going to take our adhesive off here, and you want to line this up right against the outside, the left-hand edge of your house image. And then you're going to take the adhesive off of this flap, close, and open. And there's your little pop-up box. See that? And you can adhere this little mailbox. Now, if you want it to come out further, just add another box. But I think that's kind of cute. So we're going to take our adhesive, put it right here on the box. Take our little fussy cut mailbox, and close. So now we've got a double pop-up there, which is really fun. See? And now you can take this little butterfly, and I am inking everything with bundled sage. I apologize for my voice. It's pollen season, and it has been not easy, so I apologize. Let's make this little butterfly sit right here on our envelope. Like, whoops, I dropped him. Just like that. Okay. How cute that is. All right, let's do these two inside pages. And on the left, from the 8x8, no, I'm sorry, this is the A4. I cut out this cute little label, and then I just folded the sides in. We're going to put a little bead of glue along the bottom and on these two sides. And this is going to go right here. That's a pocket. Okay. And then these two skinny tags are going to go in there. Super cute. Over here, we're going to make a kinetic waterfall. So I have two 3 3/8 by 5 3/8 inch pieces of my patterned paper. We're going to call this floral one the top and the striped one the bottom. On the top, I've scored 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2-inch lines. This top line, we're going to put adhesive on, and we're going to wrap it around the bottom panel. Just like that. All right, and then I went into, I think this was the 8x8, and I found these little images, trimmed them out, and we're going to glue these down. I have 3 of them. This is going to be the one on the, this is going to be the one on the bottom. And we're going to put our adhesive just along the top edge. And we're going to center this up and glue it down just below that fold. Okay? Then we're going to take this one that says notes, and we're going to do the same thing. You see I'm just putting the tiniest little bead. I tried once using 1/8 inch score tape for this, but it doesn't hold well. So I had to go back to my and one more. All right. So now when you pull this bottom panel, these are going to flip up, but we need to make a mechanism to hold these in place. So I went into my A4 pad and I cut out this row of letters. It doesn't really matter what kind of a scrap you use, but the width is important. I cut it to 4 5/8 inches. And we're going to bring this down here so that we're about 1/4 inch above the bottom of the top panel. Usually I do this before I put my flip pages on, but I just got excited and forgot today. So we're going to fold this one here, and we're going to fold this one here, and not too tight, not too snugly, because you want to make sure that that mechanism can move. And then just put a little bit of adhesive on either side, just like that. So that's going to hold our mechanism together. Okay? Just like that. So see now how neatly that works. And then, so that we know this is a pull tab, I'm going to take this clock also from the Fussy Cut page. And there's 12. I'm going to glue it so that it's mostly up behind. Oops. Still have I used a circle die to cut this out with, and my tape was still on it. So this is going to go right here. Okay. And when that sets, see, that becomes the pull tab. All right. Pretty, pretty. So your adhesive goes just on that little mechanism band, the letters. And this is going to glue down to your page, just like this. And I'm usually pretty careful with this mechanism until I know that glue has dried, but this is what this will do now. So cute. I love it. All right, so that's that side of the tag. I want to go ahead and do this cover before we do the back, because the back has a box pocket on it. I found this Spellbinders wooden embroidery hoop in my stash, and I heat embossed it with some Seth Apter embossing powder, covered the back with acetate, and I have 2 rows of 1/8" foam tape down here. This is a wreath die that I will link to on my blog, and I'll link to my blog in the description box below this video. And this is going to go on top of that frame. And these are some buttons galore and more shaker elements. And I think that's probably plenty. I just put my circle die down there to help me keep things from flying all over. All right, I'm going to tuck these right over this little butterfly. I'm going to come in with my embroidery hoop, and I want the embroidery hoop lock to be on the right. I'm going to press this into place. I just barely did clear the top of that. That was a little close for comfort. It's hard for me to do this on video because I usually put my head right down over where I'm going, and I can't do that when I'm videotaping. So then this wreath is going to sit right on top like this, or let me shift that just a little bit like this. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So we finished our shaker cover. I've got a few little things I want to add, but it will be easier to build the back if we keep our dimensional elements until last. So we're going to flip to the back of our tag where we're going to make our box pocket. And I have an 8 by 4.5" piece of our kind of peachy pink cardstock. We're going to score this at 1 inch and 2 inches on both sides. And then we're going to flip this and we're going to score it at 2.5 and 3.5. So basically you have 4 1-inch score lines on this. You're going to come in with your scissors and you're going to cut this outside double stack of squares, these 2 1-inch squares out completely. And you want to make a nice clean cut if you can, because that's going to make a pretty pocket. And then you're going to cut straight up like this, and then cut a little triangle out of the corner. That's going to make that box fold in nicer. So again, on the inside, you cut straight up, cut out a little triangle, and the outside you cut out entirely. And it's easier to do this before you fold those lines, okay? So now we can come in and fold our scored lines. This is just going to be folded straight up. You're not going to fold that little piece there because that's one whole piece that goes in the bottom. So this whole tab goes up and then in and then in. All right. We're laying face down. We're going to put our little tabs up. Make sure they're straight. We're going to fold these tabs into the bottom of the box. So that's what it looks like here, and you're just going to move these in so that they aren't interfering with your fold. So these are going to come in like this. Keep everything nice and square. Same thing on this side. Fold this in. Looks pretty good. Fold these side flaps in, and you're going to put some adhesive here and some adhesive here. Fold this bottom flap up. You just want to make sure everything is nice and square. And I like to come in with little clips just to hold that in place for a second or two so that everything gets, you know, glued down. And then I like to trim a triangle out of this top corner. It just looks a little cleaner when you glue things down. All right. And you can see this is going to fit on the back of our box pocket. And we can actually drop it down so that it's level, and this way this will stand up for display, which is really cute. Then we're going to do a similar technique. This is a 6-inch. Let me bring my scoring tool in here. This is 6 inches by just slightly over 3.5. And we're going to score an inch and an inch and an inch. And for this, we're just going to cut straight up and cut that little triangle out and cut straight up and cut that little triangle out. Now we're going to fold. And this is from the 6x6 Fussy Cut pad. All right. We're going to try this to make sure it fits our box. And it does. Yay. That's always a good thing. So once again, adhesive on our tabs. Our tabs fold in like this. Okay. So this fits right over our box pocket. I'm just gonna move this stuff all out of the way. That's pretty. We can take our clips off. All right. And I'll probably find some sort of a trim to go around that top, a little piece of lace or something. But we're going to put our adhesive on the back. I'm going to actually stand my tag up and center this because I want it all the way at the bottom. And then I'm just going to come in with my bone folder and press it into place. And that's your box pocket. So now you can fill that box pocket with anything you want to do. It's a nice deep one. It's 1 inch deep, so you can do all kinds of wonderful things in there. And once we get the front finished, and I'll put a little clip here, and we fill the box, it will stand up for display, which is really cute. So now that our box is in place, I want to go ahead. I'll show you. I did add a couple of little features in here to our pop-up. I added this little flower cart, and you just do this the same way you did this one over here. You take a strip of paper, you fold it in half, you fold each half in half again, you place your tape, and these are just fussy cut. I did the little flower cart, the little vegetable stand, and this cute little door to go along with our house. So here's our butterfly. I need to put adhesive right here so that this will actually really stay in place. A little tiny journal card that you can pull out. You could put white paper on the back of that if you want to write a message. But that's also a great place to tuck in a gift card. All right. So let's go ahead and decorate this up. I've put a tassel topper through here. This is just some twine that I had in my stash that I doubled over and ran through. Now we're going to put a little posy top on there. And these are some old petaloo flowers that I had in my stash. I want to put a little leaf right there. And then here's my little, these are velvet, I think they were called velvet pansies or something. They're old. I'm trying to use up a lot of my old beautiful stuff that I have in my stash because it really is lovely, and it's taking up space and it needs to be used. And on the back side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take a leaf, put it down right here, and take this sweet little posy and put it right here. So that takes care of our tag topper. Okay. Clean up any little glue boogers that want to sneak out here. All right, now to work on the front. This is an old petaloo. This one's so pretty with these colored flowers. And it's got that, you know, sort of peachy pink thing going on. That's sort of our color palette theme. And then these are some little Prima roses. I forget what collection this was from, maybe peach tea. So if you have peach tea in your stash, you might want to add these. I'm going to put these on our, and I'll put like a little twine bow or something in there to finish them out. This one goes this way, and then I've got this little one that I've kind of squinched up together. I'm going to tuck it right in here, just like that. All right. And then this is one of the little titles from the paper collection. And I want to center up right here. And then I took one of the little tags, backed it with some cardstock, add a little charm and some twine, and we're going to tie this around the embroidery hoop. All right, just tie a little bow. I'm going to put just a little dot of adhesive right here on the knot and add a precious little button right there. That is super cute. Friends, I want to show you one last thing before I close out this tutorial. I went into my 8x8 papers and took this sheet and trimmed it to a width of 7.5. So it's 7.5 by 8. Then I scored it in half at 3 3/4 because 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 is 7.5. And then I scored it here on 4. Then you're going to cut from this 4-inch line into this 3 3/4 inch line. You're going to fold this down. This flap goes to the back, this flap goes to the front, and you've got this sweet little, you've got this sweet little folio. So we're going to turn these two inside pages. Do you see how I did that? It's like this, and then you just lift this up. We're going to turn those into a little hidden pocket. And this is just a fun little insert for our big 1-inch thick pocket on the back. And I just took a 1-inch by 3.5-inch piece of paper and folded it in half. And see, now you've got this neat little hidden pocket, and you can put some little tags and things in there. To dress up the cover, I've got this little scrap of our peach stripe, and I'm going to put that down in the middle. Like this. And I've got this pretty little Flower Market tag that I'm going to glue on the front. And then you can just go in and decorate the pages as you see fit and add whatever you'd like to add. You can put little photos in there if you want. You can, do whatever you like. You can add pockets. But see, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages and a pocket in the middle. To seal up the spine, if you want to, you can just take a little bead of your glue and just go inside there, but don't use too much because you want to be able to turn your pages still and still put something in this pocket in the center. All right, so that's that. And then on the box pocket, I did add some antique lace and vintage buttons, a little fussy cut element, and this little bird cage and bird that I found in my stash. So this is a really sweet little gift. I'll probably find some sort of a binder clip to hold this top edge closed. And whoops, my glue hasn't set up here yet. It takes a few minutes for metal embellishments to adhere, but it will before it's all said and done. So that is our tutorial for this wonderful Wednesday, Wind Back Wednesday with Ciao Bella Flower Market, or Flower Shop. I think it's Flower Shop actually is the name of it. And I hope you have fun making this little tag. I will be back next week with a Wild Card Wonderful Wednesday. We're going to be making a home decor piece, and that's going to be really fun. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Go get your craft on. Bye.